I saw the back and forth you had with Marco Lainez's father talking about the quarterback room. Are you as high on Marco as I am? And what was the conversation?
I really am. I think he's got a lot. I'm not the head coach, and I don't get to watch practice every day. I live in Florida, but as a fan, I mean, I would vote for Marco starting our bowl game. Let's see what we've got. Sure, love to win to get to 11 wins, but I think that the in my opinion, which doesn't matter on this, in terms of who plays, but in my opinion, I think it'd be good for us to really know what we've got in Marco at this point. I know he's a freshman, but he could be the quarterback of the future, and putting him in the line of fire might at least give us some indication how far he's come in the last year.
And he has flashed. He has flashed in practice. So I don't know. As you said, he just got here. I think, he made it clear he wanted to get here in the spring. Given the situation with his school back home, that was not going to be possible. So, if he gets a spring practice under his belt, who knows where his development would be right now. And that makes you think, hey, where could he be in a year from now? I am of the opinion, Brad, and I don't want to totally divert this into a different type of personnel discussion than maybe what we have equipped ourselves for here. But I'm of the opinion that regardless of Cade McNamara's health and regardless of what happens in the transfer portal, this ought to be a 100% open competition into next year. More so, and I know that maybe the coaches would say, well, it's always an open competition. We knew last year that Cade was going to be the starter, right? He was brought in here to start. And I would anticipate he would win the job his super senior year, but Marco should have a shot. And if he's as good as maybe some of us think he could be, why not push Cade?
Absolutely. I completely agree with you. And in the discussions that I've had with coaches, I get the same thing that you're talking about. And I have no reason not to believe them, but I understand where you're coming from and kind of saying, yeah, it's always an open competition. I mean, that seems cliche, right? But I do think that the coaching staff want at every position, they want competition. They think that every time I talk to coaches, they're always like, competition's great. We want competition. We want these guys to be fighting amongst themselves to get on the field. They feel like that, the iron sharpens iron kind of cliche. But I think he could end up being the guy. Make no mistake, people may not know this. He had jumped Joe Lavis. I mean, he was our number 2 guy. If Deacon went down or they decided to make a quarterback change, number 11 was going to be trotting out on the field. It was not going to be Lavis. So,
and myself and Coach Patterson, we've talked about it. And Coach is one that has brought up just the idea of potentially bringing in a guy like Marco, even if you're not bringing him as a full-time starter for the bowl game, bring him in for a few, have a package ready for him.
Yeah, for sure. That would be fun. I think that would be good. And, the interesting thing about the transfer portal too, Corey, you got to think about, and for everybody else out there watching this stuff, I've just kind of learned, anybody that goes into the transfer portal, they want to play next year and they want to be a star. That's what they're thinking. Everyone's thinking that. And, for those people out there that feel like we're going to go into the transfer portal and grab one of these, go Kyle McCord or some quarterback you've seen the laundry list of the good quarterbacks in the portal. They're going to look and they're going to see Cade McNamara's name as our, on our roster. And they're going to say, I don't know that I want to go and battle Cade McNamara for the spot. Not to say they don't feel good about their ability and whatnot, but I don't see us, even if we wanted to get a marquee quarterback in the portal, even if that was something we desired to do. It's going to be very difficult. It's hard to get 2 alpha quarterbacks to transfer to the same school. It just is. And so, somebody like Marco, I'm hopeful that he ascends. I'm hoping that Deacon continues to improve. And so
again, I'm speaking all opinion based here. But one further, and this is relevant to what you do, it's relevant to the transfer portal discussion, the NIL discussion to an extent. I think further incentive to get a guy like Marco some playing time in the bowl game is you want his head in the right spot heading into the offseason. Not to say that it won't be, but why not give him an indication that, hey, we're willing to play you, even if we feel you're still maybe slightly behind Deacon, we believe in you. We believe in your upside. And, Deacon hasn't lit the world on fire. That's not, we understand that. So if a guy sits on the bench and sees a guy in front of him, not playing very well, and he believes that he's better, I'm not saying Marco's going to jump in the portal in January, but I'm just saying in general, I think that's something. And I was critical of the coaching staff a year ago with not playing Carson May in the bowl game. I thought that was an opportunity. I'm not saying that's why Carson left, but it sounded like that decision was already in the works prior to the bowl game. But, the bottom line is, I think when you have opportunities to play young players, play them. You're not going to put your other guys in a precarious situation or a compromised situation, but I would have to think he can give you something.
Yeah, I would like to think that. Again, though, this is Brad the fan, not Brad the insider talking. I don't get to see. I haven't been to a practice in a long time, so I don't get to see what's going on there or what his development and progression has been. But in general, I totally, as a fan, I completely agree with your logic there.